Welcome back, one and all, discussing Stargirl. Once again, we're in the third season, all the way up to episode 4, currently entitled The Evidence. And before I get too far into it, there will be spoilers, so duck out now if that's not your thing. Also, you might want to stick around to the end of the video where I will be going over my thoughts on the current news about Stargirl appearing in another DC property. I don't want to touch on that till the episode proper has been discussed. Also, not feeling very great right now. Not sure how my voice is going to sound, not sure how I look, but I'm going to try and keep up the energy as long as possible to get through this episode because I'm thoroughly enjoying this season of Stargirl. Not sure how many other people are enjoying it because there's very little discourse about it online. Not really seeing much as far as a promotion for the season, so I'll discuss that a little bit at the end of my video because I think that may tie into what's going on with her crossover. But this episode picks up right where we left off in the third episode. Sylvester had been kind of trying to do some reconnaissance on his own without the cosmic staff because he had made that promise to Courtney, and he was attacked by some unknown assailant outside of the gambler's trailer, and we were left unsure. Is he dead? Is he just injured? We don't know. Obviously, I did not for 1 second believe he was dead. There was no way they were going to kill him off at this point in the season, at least not permanently, because there were so many story threads that still needed to be tied up, especially the storyline between himself and Courtney, because that is the linchpin of this show. There could be a lot of loose threads, but they are not going to kill him off unceremoniously without at least first completely cementing that relationship between Stargirl and Starman. Who is the correct owner of the staff? Is Courtney the truly worthy one? Has she been passed the mantle officially? All that stuff. She needs that to become that version of herself that she is meant to be. Otherwise, it's just a giant waste of time, in my opinion. The main crux of this season is the murder mystery. We are getting a lot of fun stuff with Courtney, a lot of fun stuff with Starman, some decent interactions with Pat, although not as much with the actual robot as I would like, but they haven't really gone up against a big enemy yet, so there wouldn't be much use for that. None of the scenes with the genie are taking place in the main storyline. They're always little side quests, so I'm wondering when that's going to come back into play. And then we've got the side characters, the main players that are part of the new JSA, Yolanda, with Beth, with Rick. They also don't seem to have much to do. Most of their storylines seem to be pushed to the side to kind of give Sylvester and Starman more to do, which is to be expected because he doesn't have 2.5 seasons of built-up past. At the same time, he's not one of the main players of the show, and I certainly hope once we get into episode 5 forward, they're given a lot more to do. And we also get our first real glimpse of Cameron and Courtney's relationship again this season. As we know, in last season, he started to develop his ice powers, and that was starting to weigh on him a little bit because, he doesn't really know what's going on. He finally decides to come out to Courtney and let her in on the secret this episode, and this was a little weird. Not necessarily in a bad way, because she took it well. He was very surprised how well she took this. But she did not reciprocate by really unveiling her own secrets to him, and that was kind of possibly something that's going to lead to repercussions down the road. Obviously, he has this whole thing in his mind about his father being murdered, his father being a good guy. We know that's not necessarily the case, but I think things are going to come to a head when he finally uncovers everything that went down between the new JSA and his father. We'll have to see how that plays out with Courtney. Not very interested in that right now because we still have the main thrust of this whole murder mystery to deal with. So what new evidence is uncovered in this episode? Well, we do see that the overall scoundrel of the season, at least what I'm assuming may be the overall scoundrel of the season, Mr. Bones, is still observing all of these things on his camera. There's even some cameras in places I wouldn't necessarily think, so it seems like there is surveillance everywhere in Blue Valley. Now, is that trying to allude to something else going on outside of this main plot? Is there perhaps something special about Blue Valley? Is it a Truman-esque show type place that it's not really part of the real world in the way that we think it is? I don't know. That would be kind of an interesting theory. In fact, I thought that was what was going to be going on with that show Naomi last year, which ended up being a giant dumpster fire as far as storyline and plot goes. This show is a hell of a lot better than that one. So back to the murder mystery. The one main piece of new evidence they uncover in the murder mystery is a new sample of DNA collected at the crime scene. There is also a new piece of evidence as far as Sylvester's relationship to the cosmic staff and how he potentially came back from the dead. So the DNA they found at the trailer was not human, at least not entirely human, shedding a lot of light on a theory that I broached last episode. Is this, in fact, a Dragon King resurrected in some manner? And that seems to be the DNA evidence's conclusion as well. It was a match for the augmented Dragon King DNA. Now, we are shown at the end of the episode that something is going on with Cindy where she is mutating potentially into a lizard-like form. I still personally believe, in my heart of hearts, it was not Cindy, and that's also being thrown in as a red herring. I am still under the impression, as I said last week, that Dragon King is back in a dragonized form to which he was able to transmit his consciousness as a backup program when his original body died. That theory is looking a little more solid after what was uncovered in this episode. Still, that could be one more red herring to lead us off the real case, so I'm not saying that's 100%, but I am a little more heartened that I may be on the right track as far as that goes. The Solomon Grundy thing was just a red herring. The Cindy thing, in my opinion, is a red herring. Could be some character we've never met before, but that would be a little less interesting. If it turns out to just be some new creature we've never met before, that's a little less fun because we haven't had the chance to put it together ourselves because we had no way of knowing. Now, I also mentioned the Sylvester piece of evidence. They bring back the original Dr. Midnight, and he somehow is able to cobble together enough information to tell us that Sylvester is, in his own way, kind of absorbing the energy from the cosmic staff. Sort of in a similar manner to how Jenny absorbed the Green Lantern power, but he's not able to generate it himself. He's only able to kind of store it, sort of like a bit of a battery, but he's not able to generate it himself. So it seems, at least according to this theory, that he was brought back to life because the cosmic staff changed him in such a way that he's got, in essence, a low-level healing factor. In fact, he's already healing from the attack at the Gambler's trailer far quicker than a normal human being should be. So is he effectively immortal as long as he's in contact with the staff? That seems to be the theory they're going with here. Whether or not that's also affecting his mind, that possibly might be part of it, because as we saw in the past, he was kind of a dick when he was Starman originally. He's also kind of a dick now, but trying to work his way around that. He does seem to have these bipolar moments where he's a dick and he's not. I'm wondering if the cosmic staff is imbuing him with these amazing abilities, storing it within him, but they're also messing with his emotional balance, and that's why when he's not around the staff, as we are currently seeing when he's sharing with Courtney, he tends to be a better man, and then he also has these fits of dickishness, for lack of a better term. I keep saying that. So maybe it's affecting him negatively emotionally, but positively physically, and that's the kind of war that's going on, and eventually he'll be able to generate his own Starman powers without the staff in a less concentrated form, so he won't be as powerful, but I feel like that might be where they're going at the end of the season, if he doesn't end up laying down his life for good to completely pass that staff on to Courtney 100%, which may be the case because one of the episodes at the end of the season is entitled The Last Will and Testament of Sylvester Pemberton. Geez, I could barely get that out as such a long title. So that may also be a red herring because I don't know if they're going to let him die 100%. That's basically the two main things in this episode. Obviously, we've got the continued storyline of everyone trying to fit in, the whole frenemy thing. Where are these formerly evil characters going to fit in the new group? Yolanda's still dealing with her family issues. In the brief moments we actually get to interact with her, we've still got the Rick thing with his uncle / Solomon Grundy. Beth's parents are still trying to deal with the fact that she's a superhero in a very overbearing way. And then we've just got the whole Starman trying to fit in, Pat trying to stay fitting in with Starman back in town, and Courtney trying to deal with herself. All sorts of people trying to figure out where they belong in the world. So now that we're done talking about the episode, I'm going to give my thoughts about what's going on with this Titans crossover. Full disclosure, I have not watched Titans. I'm a big fan of Doom Patrol, and I'm a big fan of Stargirl, but I've never watched Titans. Therefore, not really sure how this is going to fit in. So she was seen filming. Whether or not this is a extended cameo, there's going to be more of her in the episode than we think. Whether or not it's even the same version of Stargirl, all things that aren't confirmed. My opinion is that this is not the same version of Stargirl. They are setting up a slightly different version. Her Earth whatever doppelganger. I think Earth 9 is where Titans takes place. So this is the Earth 9 version of Stargirl. They're going to set her up as existing within the universe as a way to hedge their bets. Because I have a feeling Stargirl may not be getting a season 4. However, they do probably still want to hold on to Breck as that character. Whether or not they're going to hold on to any of the other characters from the show, I don't know. But by setting her up as an Earth 9 version of herself in Titans, that now lends the backdoor possibility for a cancellation or a discontinuation of Stargirl as a show itself, but for her to come back as an alternate, slightly varied version of herself to join the Titans in next season if they don't go along with a new version of Stargirl. That is my hunch on why they are doing this. They want to backdoor her into a universe she doesn't exist in, just in case. Now, I don't even know if Titans will be getting another season. I don't know if Doom Patrol's getting another season. I don't know if they're going to scrap all these DC shows and try to start over. But I figured I'd talk about it because that tends to be where I'm falling on this right now. I'm barely holding it together right now because my face and my head is so stuffed up. So I'm going to call it quits for now. Hope you guys liked this episode. Let me know what you thought below. What do you think's going on with this crossover? What do you think's going on with a murder mystery? So give me all your thoughts. Give me a like if you like this video, or just tell me how much you hate this show. Whatever you want to do, leave that below. But until next time, keep on shining.